Our next guest today is Teresa Smothers, who's with Edward Jones
Yes, that's right.
Investments. Is that
Edward Jones Investments, that's correct.
okay, great.
Yes.
So, Teresa, you are an agent for Edward Jones. Is that what you call?
I'm a financial advisor
Financial
for Edward Jones.
advisor.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, and that's why we're just happy to have you here, because we need financial help.
Well, good. Well, I appreciate you letting me come to visit today.
Yeah. So, everyone, as we all know, needs to be saving for a rainy day.
True.
And, of course, saving for their retirement.
Right.
And so all the time you see these things and you wonder, oh, who do I contact? What do I do? How do I begin to save?
Right.
So you need to tell me.
Okay. Well, what we do is we focus on the individual investor. And it's one-on-one. We sit down with that person and we look at what their goals are for their money. We look for long-term investors. What's the goal for your money? What's your time horizon? How much more time do you have before retirement that you want to save? And then what your risk is. What type of risk are you wanting to take? So once we find that out about our clients, then we can put together a portfolio that encompasses all three of those things for them.
Now, and I suppose that, somebody might only have $25 a paycheck, maybe once a week, maybe once a month. But it's never too late to start investing.
That is exactly right, and that's what we tell people. I have met a lot of people in the community here, and I tell them, if you have $25 a month that you can start your retirement with, get started today. Because people don't understand the value of compounding interest and those sorts of things. And then if you're a young investor, your time horizon is a whole lot longer than what mine and yours is. So we're not 20 anymore. So but you don't have to have a lot of money to start investing, but just get started.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is so important that young people need to realize that they need to start right away. And I know they might not think that they can even spare that $25 a month. But, once they begin that process, they won't even know it's gone.
Exactly.
That's $25 that they maybe, as I tell my children and various ones, drink that coffee at home before you take off, or get your to-go cup at home.
Exactly.
and instead of stopping somewhere and getting your coffee. That's $2 you could put in savings in your investment for the month.
That is exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's what I tell. Do you go out? How many times do you go out and eat per month? Cut back one time, because $25, it's easy to spend $25. So
Yeah.
And then over that time period, you can up that as you get older. And what I tell younger folks too, if you have a job and your company has a 401k plan, you need to be contributing to that. Every year you get a raise, increase your contributions there. Because that's really important that you can
Mm-hmm.
continue that on for the long term, because that comes directly right out of your payroll check. You don't miss it.
Yeah. And now, so if someone wanted to say, and again, you can start out, say, with $25 a month, you get accustomed to that. Then you might be able to up it to $50. You realize, well, hey, that wasn't so hard after all.
That's exactly
And then
right.
you start, investing, say, $50 a month. Okay, can you do that like pre-tax dollars, before it's taxed or after it's taxed? Does it make,
Well, if you do a self-directed IRA and you contribute, let's just say you did that over the year and you contribute X number of dollars, then once you get your taxes done, you go to your tax person and say, hey, I contributed X number of dollars to my IRA account, and that's a deduction off of your taxes from a payroll perspective. If there are different types of IRAs, there's traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. With a Roth IRA, if you contribute to that, then all of the gains on that over time grows tax-free. So when you turn 59 and a half, all of those gains that your portfolio made is tax-free. You don't have to pay the government anything. But on a traditional, it's tax deferred. Then once you start taking that money, then you have to start paying taxes on that.
But then again, I guess it depends on whether or not you, maybe when you're older, your income won't be as much, so it would be better to pay the taxes then.
Later on in your life.
Later
so yeah,
on.
If you don't have income coming in, then you'll be in a lower tax bracket. And so once you start taking distributions from that IRA, then yes, you'll pay it at a lower you'll be in a lower tax bracket, a lower tax rate.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, and then now so there are all kinds of different ways that you can save. You can, like you mentioned, this IRA or a Roth IRA or a traditional, and then you have other types of investments and funds that you. So tell me about that.
Well, it depends upon where you're at in your life cycle. So if you're at retirement age and you're going to retire and you're rolling over 401ks, you would put that into an IRA account, a traditional IRA account. We would look at investments inside of that, and that would pay you income to supplement Social Security or a pension that you would have. A lot of folks do have pensions, and companies now are allowing them to do a lump sum rollover. And what a pension is an annuity. It's made up of, it's a variable annuity is one type, and you would put that money inside of that, and it could pay you lifetime income with a guaranteed death benefit. So yes, based upon that individual investor and what their goals are for their money, there's all types of investments out there. There's individual stocks, you own an individual company. There are mutual funds, and I was raised on a farm, so a mutual fund is like a bucket, and inside of that bucket are multiple companies. Annuities, bonds. When Washington County built their school system over here, they issued bonds. It's kind of like an IOU to people like you and me, and said, hey, if you let me borrow $10,000 for a 20-year period, or 30 or 10 or 15, whatever that is, then I'm going to give you, let's say, 3% on that bond for that life, for its maturity. So that's tax-free because you live in the state of Kentucky. It's a municipal bond. You live in the state of Kentucky, and the bond is inside of Kentucky, so you don't pay any federal, state, or local tax on that interest that they give you. So once they're finished with your money, they've got the school paid off, they give you back your $10,000, and you've got that tax-free interest that came to you over that time period. So and asset allocation is one of the things that we look at. You've heard, don't have all of your eggs in one basket. Right. So, based upon what your goals are, your risk tolerance, and your time horizon, we may put you some mutual funds inside of your portfolio, some bonds, we may put some annuities, it just depends upon that individual investor and what they want their money to do for them.
Well, and of course, I guess like you say, you might have some that are high risk, some low risk, some medium, and then, you have a variety of those things so that, you're not going to have all your eggs in one basket, and hopefully in the end you're going to come out ahead.
Right, exactly. We sit down with that individual investor and we do a risk tolerance questionnaire on each person, on all of our clients. 6 questions, and we would do that right now, and it would show you exactly what type of an investor that you are. Are you conservative? Are you aggressive? Are you middle of the road? And once we get the score, you're scored, then we actually look at investments based upon that risk tolerance. I'm just not sitting there thinking, well, I think she would like this. It's based upon what your goals are for your money and what your risk tolerance is. So a lot of people, like, I'm not an aggressive investor. I'm kind of middle of the road, inflation. We know that this time next year, my watch is going to cost more because of inflation. So I want my investments to at least to keep up with inflation, but I'm not going to take a huge risk. So I'm kind of like middle of the road. What I tell my clients that are retired, you've accumulated your wealth. Now it's protection mode. So we're going to be more conservative. You're not trying to grow that. You're trying to get income off of your investments that will last until you pass on. Okay? So, we have a really good system that puts all types of information in there, what your spending is, what your risk tolerance is, what your income is, etc. And it will show you where you're at today, and then when you turn 90, life expectancy, let's say, then it would show you if you have enough investments or if you're on track at an early age to have enough income to last you for your life expectancy of age 90. So it's...
Is that what the life expectancy is?
But people are living longer. We have people in our community that are over 100.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
So yeah, it's, your investments are important. Outside of just investing, we also look at preparing for the unexpected. So if I have a client and they were to be killed in a car wreck, let's say, then, where does that leave their family? Have they set their family up for, to continue their lifestyle, pay the mortgage, send the kids to college? So we can guide them and show them how, if that were to happen, to help them to plan for the unexpected, because, that's truly important to the family.
Right. So I guess, as you mentioned, it's really never too late to start investing.
No.
Because, even if you're already 60 and you haven't saved, it's not too late.
It's not too late. I have an awesome father-in-law, and he told me that I could use him as an example. He didn't start investing until he was 42. He's 85 today, and he started out with buying mutual funds. And so over time, he's bought these mutual funds, he's retired, he's getting Social Security, he's getting pension, and now his mutual funds are providing him income to supplement his pension and his Social Security. And so, yes, it's never too late to start. Yeah. Never too late to start.
And so then if, because hopefully everyone's still going to be guaranteed their Social Security.
We can't guarantee anything, can we?
No. No, I guess we cannot. Do you get questions about that, about, the Social Security and whether or not?
Yeah, people say that. And what I say is, if you have a 401k at your work, contribute to it. If you can contribute additional money outside of your 401k and you qualify for a Roth IRA, do that outside of work, outside of work as well. So I've got folks that contribute to their 401k. If the company matches, put enough in that you get their match. Don't leave free money laying on the table. So, that's a ways off, prepare now for yourself, and then if you retire and you get Social Security, that's just a bonus.
Yeah. Oh gosh. So, well, I hope it continues, really. I do, for because there are those people who really don't have a penny to left over sometimes. But I just say, hey, $5, like you said, just a dinner out that you might spend for the month, contributed, put it away.
Yeah.
So
another area that I help folks with is long-term care. We know that that's costly. Right now, in nursing home care is around $6,000 to $8,000 a month. In-home care is around $3,000 to $5,000 a month. And we tell folks, we show them ways that they can, pay for those things, pay for those expenses. And, that we look at the total picture when we sit down with our client. We help them make sure or mention to them, do you have a will? Do you have a different things like that, and we work with local attorneys and things like that to help folks that way as well. So,
that's a good point.
It's all our company just focuses on the total picture.
The whole picture.
Yes.
So, and I suppose you have things like life insurance?
We do. We have life insurance, and the new style life insurance, you can have a life insurance policy and add on like a long-term care rider. And what that means is, let's say you had a $100,000 policy and you had this long-term care rider on it and you went into the nursing home, then this policy, you can start pulling money from that policy to pay for the nursing home. But let's just say that you got the policy, in 2 years you were hit by a Mack truck. Then that life insurance pays a death benefit to your beneficiary tax-free. So old style long-term cares were just long-term care. If you didn't use it, you lost it. But this new style now is a life insurance policy with this rider attached to it, this long-term care rider or a chronic illness rider. If you had to have someone to come and sit in your home, it would pay that out. So let's just say that you had that, you were 2 years in a nursing home and you used $60,000, then your beneficiaries would receive the remaining $40,000.
Wow.
So we've got ways that we can help people, with these expenses.
Yeah. Well, that's really good to know, because certainly I think, I don't know what the percentage is of people that go into need those, but as you say, people are living longer and are probably more inclined to need in-home care or nursing home care.
Yes, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And what I help my folks or my clients with is if you have an old life insurance policy and you have a statement and you got a number on there, we can do an enforced illustration and they'll send me exactly what your policy says. And I've sat down with numerous clients in the community that I'm age 56 and my policy is going to run out when I'm age 74 when I need it. So, it's always good. It's towards the end of the year. This is a good time for folks to sit down and look at their total financial picture. Okay, how's your performance doing? Is it doing based upon your long-term goals? Is it realistic? Individual investors, they make their money over time, not overnight. So are your goals realistic? Your time horizon, how much more time do you have? And what's your risk tolerance? So one of those areas is, let's pull out the old life insurance policy. I'm 10 years older now, or what have you. And let's just make sure that that's a good policy. And if it's not, we can do it. We can exchange that policy, for something different, based upon if it's in your best interest. And that's Edward Jones' philosophy, is that we sit down with a long-term investor, and we have that investor's best interest at heart. And sometimes we bring up these other areas that they're not thinking about, because a lot of people, they think Edward Jones and they think stock market. Well, we're more than that.
Well, gosh, that's good to know too. Yeah. So if you had a life insurance policy that's going to not be effective after the age of 74 or something, that can be switched over? You can help get that switched over?
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
So then, now of course, I suppose, a lot of these investments depend on the stock market. And so I was reading something the other day about the stock market was going to be maybe flat or something in the next 3 or 4 years. What have you seen on that?
Well, this year we've seen, right now the stock market is above 18,000 points. It's at its high pretty much. The stock market over time, history has shown it's up and down based upon everything that happens in our economy. So, a flat stock market, it could be, if I had that crystal ball, I could tell you that. So.
And then we'd know exactly where to invest and in what.
That's right. I forgot to bring that with me today.
I just know that those were some of the predictions,
Sure.
and so
Yeah.
you know, like every so many years that the stock market goes, you know, down, and so is this supposed to be that year?
Well, you know, here's what I tell my clients. I have clients that are in this for the long term, okay? We don't own the whole market. So when you see the TV, you know, they're talking about the whole market. My clients probably own a little portion of that market, which are quality investments that, you know, some of these mutual fund companies have been around longer than some of the banks have been in business. I mean, so we have quality investments that are tried and true during these up and downs, you know, go all the way back to 1934, 35, the Great Depression, you know, and we've seen that the quality investments that we select are tried and true. Have they gone up and down? Of course they have. An individual stock has more volatility, moves up and down more than a bond does or a mutual fund does, etc. So, and that all goes back again to what's your risk tolerance, how long do you have, what's your time horizon, and what are your goals for that money. Some goals are for retirement, the majority. Some folks have retirement goals and paying for their kids' college education. That's a goal for them. So, you know, it just depends upon what you want that money to do for you.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to like start a fund, you know, say young parents that wanted to start a fund for their children's college, I suppose that's tax deferred or something.
It depends on, there are multiple options. A 529 plan, it's a college savings plan. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, they can
all contribute to that?
Yes, they can contribute to that. And let's just say you had 2 children and we started one for the first child and the first child decided college wasn't for them. You can actually pass that and change that over to the second child. So if that child uses it for tuition, books, room and board, classes, then it is a tax savings. It's a tax. Yeah, it's not taxed. That money's not taxed if it's used for that college education. So that's a benefit. Oh,
wow. That really is.
Yes.
So they can contribute as much to that as they want.
It's about $14,000 a year on that. So, yeah.
And so the whole that grandparents and everybody can contribute.
Yeah. So, you know, instead of little Johnny getting 20 toys.
Yeah.
You know, hey, just fund his college education.
Instead of giving him some cash or something for Christmas, they could just take that money, and I guess that it would be tax deferred for the grandparents, right?
Well, it's tax deferred.
Okay.
When you use that.
When you use it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Well, that's really
also, I've got clients, you know, that could, or actually, if you're a parent and you have adult children, and you wanted to help them fund their IRA, their self-directed IRA, you can do that.
Oh.
So, yeah, there's a lot of avenues that, you know, give them the money, go fund your IRA.
That is really...
Versus, here's money for whatever. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's really good to know.